Kelly's Court is back in session. On the docket today, breaking news in a love triangle murder we have followed closely here on Kelly's Court. The widow of a man killed outside of a Georgia daycare facility is now, as of about 2 hours ago, facing a string of charges, including murder charges. You may remember the case of Hemi Newman. Here's the guy, the original defendant in the case. He claimed that he was visited by a demon whose voice sounded just like Barry White and an angel who looked just like Olivia Newton-John. He said the demon and the angel ordered him to pull the trigger and kill a man named Randy Schneiderman, which he did. In March, Newman was found guilty but mentally ill in connection with Mr. Schneiderman's murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. During the trial, the prosecution argued that Hemi Newman had been not only Randy Schneiderman's wife's boss, but her lover. He claimed basically that he was having an affair with the dead man's wife. She denied it. The wife got up on the stand in the middle of the case, denied it. She claimed she didn't understand why her boss would murder her husband. Hemi gets convicted, and now prosecutors say she needs to be convicted too.
We've been working on it since the conclusion of the case that all of you all witnessed back in the winter and the early spring of last year. And so this is not something that we woke up this morning or yesterday or last week and made a decision to do. This is something that you're really looking at the result of several months of work.
Wow. Joining me now, Mark Eiglash, former prosecutor, now defense attorney, and Brian Claypool, a defense attorney. Mark, what evidence do they have against her? She denied that there was an affair. What's the evidence against her for murder?
All right. Well, the most compelling evidence occurs on the day of the shooting. She received a call from a school administrator who told her only two things. One, there was an accident at school, and number two, your son's okay. Armed with that information, she allegedly told both her father-in-law and her close friend that Rusty had been shot. Yet she testified in Hemi Newman's trial that she didn't know about Rusty's shooting until she arrived at the hospital. So that's lie number one. There are a number of other lies, including she's saying that she never had an affair with Newman, yet there's a waitress at a restaurant called The Pulse in Greenville who said they were dancing to salsa music, that they were groping and kissing each other. That, coupled with the $2 million that she inherited in life insurance, plus a number of other pieces of evidence, they've got a compelling circumstantial evidence case.
And Brian, according to the indictment, they're apparently saying that not only that, she had a 16-minute conversation with Hemi Newman while he was at the gun shop and shooting range, and within a matter of days, Newman would wind up killing Rusty Schneiderman, and they claim that she provided to Hemi Newman her husband's schedule for departure and return to his home so that he would have Rusty Schneiderman's schedule.
Well, Megan, if I'm the defense lawyer for Andrea Schneiderman, Exhibit A at the trial on her behalf is going to be a picture of Olivia Newton-John. Exhibit B is going to be a picture of, what was the other? Barry White. Those are my first two exhibits. Maybe I'll play a song, too. Maybe an Olivia Newton-John song from Grease.
That's a good point.
Clearly, Hemi Newman is a lunatic. This guy is deranged. He even said that that's what motivated him to kill. My defense is going to be this guy is a whack job. He was trying to lure Andrea in. He wanted her as his mistress, as his wife, and he is the sole person who went out and did this. He's deranged, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but if they can prove an affair, Mark, it's really going to help, even though they don't need motive. If they can prove an affair.
There's no evidence of an affair, Megan.
Well, if they've got some witness who saw them kissing and dancing to salsa music. But remember this exchange? I want to get you to weigh in on this, Mark. The prosecution played this. This is the prosecution calling the victim's wife in the course of the trial. She's supposed to be a friendly witness to the prosecution. They're cross-examining her, trying to prove that there was something going on between her and Hemi Newman, the defendant. Watch what happened at the trial.
This is a gentleman who has bothered you with "I love you" and "marry me."
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic idea to go with him to a dance club in England.
If that's how you're reading the email, I suppose that's...
Then tell me how to read it. I just know English.
They were going for it then. They're going to go for it again.
Absolutely. And, you know, right next to the photo of Barry White that he's going to put up and Olivia Newton-John are going to be the phone records that within 11 minutes of receiving the call from the school administrator, the defendant Schneiderman called Newman, the shooter, the convicted shooter, 4 times. You know how many times she called her husband? 0.
Even though she'd only
Mark,
been told that there was an accident. They
case.
didn't say the husband was
Right.
dead. Brian, go ahead.
That helps.
Correct.
Megan, that helps the defense. That actually is a critical piece of evidence to prove that she is not culpable. In other words, she finds out there's an accident. If she truly knew that her husband had been shot, then why is she calling Hemi Newman? In other words, the fact that she doesn't call her husband proves that she doesn't know that he's been shot. She's been told there's an accident.
What?
Your son's
What?
okay.
Maybe
So
she didn't call him because she knew he'd been shot dead.
And she told her close friend and her father-in-law that Rusty had been shot. How does she know that information unless she was involved?
And we'll have to leave that question out in the ether because we have to break. A good debate, as always, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Up next.